Alright, all you Insomniatic TV channel surfers out there tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And yeah, I think Seth Rollins at this point is really starting to become like CM Punk with his straight edge society, but when is he gonna force all of them to shave their heads and pledge their allegiance to him? It's really starting to look like that, isn't it, Maestro? It is, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, to switch gears from wrestling, I think it's time for us to pick up our TV channel remotes and flick on our television sets for another edition of As Seen on TV. And seeing the fact that we've hit 50 episodes of this part of the show already, folks, it's time for us to actually go into a show that kicked off the child version of their counterparts, known as the Muppet Babies, or better known as Jim Henson's Muppet Babies. You know, it went by two different titles, but I think once it went to Nickelodeon, they just called it Muppet Babies, because it was shorter. And the meat and potato of this said show, and it's a lesson that I got a feeling most people in life forgot about in their childhood, is solving a majority of their problems with, I guess, their imagination, which was probably one of the coolest things I've seen on TV in a long time as a kid. And for anybody out there who always wondered, where in the world did this show come from? Well, if anybody remembered the movie Muppets Take Manhattan when they had that dream sequence where Kermit and I guess Miss Piggy were little kids, that's where it came from. Apparently, after seeing that, they said, you know what? What if we turned all of the Muppets into kids and see if they can live in a nursery with a woman's face that we haven't seen throughout the entire series of the show? And the person I'm talking about is called Nanny. And no, during the whole entire series, folks, you don't see her face. It's almost as bad as what it is for Cow and Chicken, or at least the person who was the owner of the house from Tom and Jerry. And by the way, this show would spawn not only Tom and Jerry kids, a pup named Scooby-Doo, I guess Total Drama Island kids, or whatever the world they're called, but yeah, all the baby series, or any joke mock versions of baby series, would come from this show here. This would be the flag bearer of the turn the regular stars into kids shows. And what did I love so much about this show, folks? Well, their creative imagination, like we said earlier. And a prime example of that, folks, and probably one of my favorite episodes, has to be the one between the Weirdo Zone that Gonzo opened up that reminded me a lot of, I guess the Twilight Zone, but also when they opened up the Daily Muppet and opened up their own newspaper factory from the nursery, which was outrageous. These kids who ended up ruining the paper that Nanny had would try to make her a brand new paper by making their own paper factory from scratch. Now, this was prior to the Rugrats doing things like this, so that tells you a lot about how creative these kids are. And another thing that I loved about this show is the fact that not only it involved Howie Mandel, Katie Lee, and would also involve Lori O'Brien during this show playing Baby Piggy and Captain Blackwig. But did I forget to mention that Howie Mandel played Baby Skeeter and Baby Animal during the show? Yeah, that was a thing. And for those out there who are wondering, this show lasted from September 15th, 1984, all the way until November 2nd of 1991, and this show came out 4 years prior to A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, which would be the second show in line of the kids series-like shows. And after the show got unfortunately canned on CBS, it would be then transferred to Nickelodeon in 92 all the way to 99, and that was the version me and my sister grew up on. Then it would make its way to the Odyssey Network in 1999 all the way to 2001. And apparently, according to the Maestro, the series would not die there. Because, and this is something we didn't even know about, we had to actually look up, the Muppet Babies would still be on the air as of March 23rd of 2018, and instead of the traditional animation they would use, they would go with CGI, and it would be from the creator of The Kids Next Door, known as Mr. Warburton, who would be the person behind the revival of the Muppet Babies that is still on to this day on Disney Junior. And the only reason I haven't heard of the show is because it's on Disney Junior. I don't get that channel. Wish I did to see how good or bad this show is, but yeah, it's out there, folks. It really is. And before we head out, Maestro wants to know who was my favorite Muppet of all time in baby form? Between Gonzo, I would have to say probably Baby Animal, because of his wild, rambunctious life as a kid, sort of reminded me of my childhood and how wild and crazy I was as a kid and how my imagination took me to new and greater heights that I've never seen before. And thank goodness I kept my imagination alive, because shows like these wouldn't exist without it. And seeing the fact that we don't know how to review shows along the lines of TV Guide or any of those other shows you know of that reviews TV shows, we say this: if you want to watch an adorable show involving kids' versions of classic Muppet characters who had their own late night talk show that now uses their imagination to probably bring a talk show to life in that show as well, and even getting adventures in the comfort of their own cribs, then I recommend you go out there, pick up your TV channel remotes, and watch that flick. And I guess with that said, we might as well head back into the music, and when we return, we'll be back with another edition of the IndieCade Triple S Deluxe right after this. So don't go watching infomercials just yet, folks, and stay tuned.